It's okay. It's fine. So I'm gonna check my Facebook page. Just look cute for a minute.
I can do that.
I know you can. I am. I gotta tell you. I gotta stop talking to you about stuff. Oh, we are up. Okay, good. It's like it always takes a minute for Facebook to kick in, but we are live and you, okay, here we go. Very good. Welcome, you guys. I have a really special guest that I'm super excited about talking to today. You may know her as Melinda Emerson, or probably more so know her as Small Biz Lady. She was voted the #1 small business expert to follow on Twitter. So this is serious. And that was from Forbes magazine. I know that I have a lot of entrepreneurs in my community. So I am super excited about bringing her to my community and introducing her to those who may not be familiar, and reintroducing those to her who built their business based on her first book. But this is going to be full of action tips and strategies and tools. So if you are, for whatever reason, struggling in your business, then you are in the right place today, because this is going to be very helpful. So welcome to my Facebook community, Melinda.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, Nikki.
Oh, no, I am super excited. So the book drops actually today. So it is now available on Amazon. It is available on your website. The name of the book is Fix Your Business. It's like straight to the point. It tells you exactly what's going to happen.
Yes, I'm trying to help people get free from the craziness that is some of you guys' jobs. You know, your businesses are stretching out. You don't got processes and systems. You don't got the right people working for you. So I'm really going to help you sort of like deconstruct what's going on in your business so that you can actually build a business that works for you, that throws off the kind of money you want and helps you live your dream life.
So I really want to dive deep into that, but we really have some time today, and I'm super excited to have you. So I really kind of want to go back, because you also recently celebrated 19 years as a thriving entrepreneur. And so tell me, like, the first time, because, for 19 years, that means you started fairly young. Why did you decide that you wanted to become a small business owner?
Well, I decided that I wanted to become a small business owner because I had my dream job and it turned into a nightmare. Like I'm sure some of your audience know exactly what I'm saying. I got my dream job, and you got to be careful what you wish for sometimes, because you might really get it and you don't really want it. So for me, I started my business because I knew that I was bigger than the job that I was allowed to do. And so I prayed over it and said, feet don't fail me now. And literally I had a laptop, a fax machine, and a dream.
Well, see, that really tells it, the fax machine.
Look, and I took out a home equity loan, and I paid on every bill I had, even my car. I brought in my kid brother, who was in my back bedroom. He became my tenant and paid half the mortgage at my house. And that's literally how I got started in business. And, we have grown and morphed and grown again and reinvented and twisted. And now I'm America's #1 small business expert. Who would have thunk it? I certainly didn't.
Well, and so what was because I think this is one of the things that stop a lot of people. And so I kind of want you to speak to this before we talk about like your first book, that kind of, leads up to the Fix Your Business. But what kind of training did you get? I mean, did you go to business school? Did you go to the small business? No. What did you do? What did you do?
No, it's funny. People ask me this a lot because they're like, well, how did you, get to the point where you could be, a business coach? And I said, well, you know what? I am an accidental business coach. I learned how to run a business from the school of hard knocks. Literally, I made all of the expensive mistakes. And part of the advice that I give is so that other people don't have to make those mistakes.
Right.
One of the things that I did do every single year that I have been in business, I have taken some kind of course, some kind of business plan course, leadership course, sales training. I've done 3 executive education programs, one at Tuck, one at Harvard, and one at the University of Virginia. So I am also a voracious reader because I believe success leaves clues everywhere, right? So you want to be reading what other folks are putting out there so that you can keep your knife sharp. And so those are the things that, you know, I started my business, I was in my mid-20s. So I knew I didn't know a whole lot about business. I knew how to tell stories. I was a television producer. So what did I do? I started a video production company. So I knew how to do that. But knowing your craft and knowing how to run a business are two very different things. And most people don't realize that. You know, they sort of think, oh, I bake great cakes. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to open a bakery. No, that might not be what you need to do.
Right.
You might need to sell your cakes to a bakery, right? You know, so you've got to really understand what you're biting off. You know, one of the benefits that I had was a year prior to me starting my business, I actually worked part-time for another production company for a year before I left my job to start my business. So I learned from another production company how to price a job, how to, you know, how to develop and charge for the different stages of production, and how to deposit and what kind of deposits to get, and all, you know, you have to learn that stuff. It's not innate, you know, so you got to learn how to bill people, how to collect for people, you know, how to not take everything personally. You know, I've learned all of these lessons, so now I just share them and give people great advice.
Now, so you publish content consistently and constantly, so you never have to go, you know, too far to find a resource or something from you. And you wrote your first book almost, I think it's like 8 years ago, right?
I actually wrote my first book 10 years ago, but it didn't come out until March of 2010 because of the market crash in 2008. But we updated it in 2015. So Become Your Own Boss in 12 months has been around like over 8 years, and it still sells very well. It's in multiple languages around the world. And that's really what turned me into the small biz lady, right? So that's how I, you know, started giving out advice. And I literally wrote that book because it was the book I had never read. You know, it was like the advice, the nitty gritty advice that nobody tells you. You know, I really wanted to examine how running a business takes a toll on you personally, your personal life, your family, your personal family finances. Like, I really kind of got into some of that because people want to get you hyped up on writing your business plan and your website and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, no, you got to understand that it takes 12 to 18 months for a small business to break even, let alone replace your corporate salary. That's real talk. And nobody tells you that. Nobody tells you could go 2 years without a check. Like, nobody tells you that.
I mean, literally, it was probably the first book I got when I just even started getting the inkling. And true story, I opened it, I looked at it, and I closed it back because I was like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. And so, I mean, it really, and I tell everybody, if you want the logistically and mentally, if you're looking to build your business, then you need this because it does give you action steps for every single month for a year, and even breaks it down even further than that of what you should be doing from the financing, the accounting, the numbers, and all of that. And so, I mean, it's
a lot. It's a lot. And listen, I have had people tell me that my first book, Become Your Own Boss in 12 months, is really like a bucket of cold water in people's face.
It is. I literally closed the book back like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. But that's what you need. And so, and I think it's also a great testimony, like you said. I mean, that really is how you then became small biz lady. So talk to me about that transition and how you got the great idea and how it became such a phenomenal brand.
Well, again, everything that has happened to me literally is nothing more than a God setup, right? Because when my first book, Become Your Own Boss, was written and turned into my publisher in September of 2008, 10 days later, the market crashed. And my publisher called me up and said, listen, thank you so much for being the first time author that actually turned your book in on time. But we're not going to release your book until March of 2010. They were sliding my book for 18 months. And I was like, holy back, man, what am I going to do? And literally a friend of mine said, look, if I were you, I would hire a publicist and I would start publicizing that book like it's coming out anyway. And I was like, really? That's your advice to me? Wow. You know, I was really kind of like, that's what you think I should do? Go spend more money on a book that's not even coming out? And they were like, no, seriously, you know, get a publicist and get one that knows something about this new social media thing. Because remember, in 2008, Twitter was 1 year old. So it was nowhere near like it is now. So I hired a woman, her name is Kathy Larkin, and she was one of the early adopters of social media. She knew social media, and she said, look, I know what we're going to do. She said, you mean to tell me we got 18 months to promote your book? And I was like, yes, we have 18 months. And she was like, great. And I'm like, you're excited about that? She said, yes, that means we have 18 months to build your author platform. And again, author platform was a word nobody was using back then. So I was looking at her like she had three heads. I was just like, really? Okay. All right. Because by this time I was disgusted with the whole book, the project. I just thought I had been hoodwinked and bamboozled. I was mad. And she said, no, this is actually a good thing for you. And I was like, well, that'll remain to be seen, right? So she said, I think the thing we need to do is go out and build your brand on Twitter. And I literally said to her, what is Twitter? That's how early it was.
Right.
What is she talking about? And she said, no, trust me, this is going to be a good thing for you. So finally the day came for me to get my own Twitter account. So I'm on the phone in front of my computer. She's on the phone in front of her computer. I go to twitter.com and I put in Melinda Emerson. And I politely got this note back. And I was like, what do you mean that name is already taken? Like, are you serious? And so, and the thing that was more ridiculous about that is that I probably met 5 like adult Melindas in my whole life.
Right.
My name was never on the keychain thing, at the gas station when you were a kid. Like my name is not common.
Right.
The fact that there was another Melinda Emerson and that woman had got to Twitter before me was just ridiculous to me. But once I took a deep breath and got over that, Kathy was like, okay, we got to come up with a nickname for you. And I said, a nickname? You mean like Mindy or Melly Mel or something?
Melly Mel.
And she was like, no, fool, you're not a rapper. I'm not giving you a nickname like that. And I was like, look, you said nickname. You need to get snippy with me. I don't know what you're talking about, right? She said, no, we need to come up with a name that tells people who you are and what you do. And after we kicked around a bunch of names, she came out with, how about Small Biz Lady? And I was like, you know what? All right, I think I could be her, And literally, that was the best branding thing they could have possibly ever.
Well, 3 million entrepreneurs later, yes, I think so.
I mean, but it was just so random,
Yeah.
But what happened was I became, that voice online. And one of the secret things that we did in our plan was there were 3 things I had to do every day on Twitter. I had to tweet something personal about myself. I had to share an article written by somebody else, because back then I didn't even have a blog. Right. And then I answered somebody's small business question every day.
And can we just say that is still an amazing plan to do on Twitter today? So I can only imagine how shocked it was. And then the other thing that you did, and I want to just briefly talk about this before we get to fix your business, because there's a lot there. But then you started Small Biz Chat.
Yeah.
And 9 years later, it's the #1 chat on Twitter out of all of the genres. I mean, Small Biz Chat is huge.
Yeah, it is. But, again, the whole reason why I even started Small Biz Chat was because I was spending so much time every day finding people with questions. Like, it was taking me hours to find the right question. And then I said, well, what if I created a way for people with questions to find me? Boom. And that was just when people started doing chats and stuff. Yeah. I think when I started, there might have been 6 chats on Twitter when I started. And so literally we started Small Biz Chat, and within 6 weeks, it just swelled up. And the next thing you know, I was getting 500 followers a week on Twitter. Then it was 1,000 followers a week on Twitter. Then it was 1,500 followers a week, every week on Twitter. So these days I have, over 300 and
I was gonna say, I think it's 360,000 people.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't keep up with, but it just became just this thing. And we've had the opportunity to have so many famous authors and celebrities, and everybody named mama has been on Small Biz Chat,
Well, every week for 9 years. I mean, hear me, every single week for 9 years. And I want to say this, and I hope you don't mind, but I really want to stress how brilliant you have been about creating your brand and how it can be done for those who also want to do the same thing. But you're launching, your book releases today, Fix Your Business. You can get it on Amazon, or we'll give you a website in a minute where you can actually get an autographed copy. But your book tour is sponsored by Visa.
Yeah.
That's like how brilliant your brand is. Visa said, you know what? This is so good. We want to be attached to that. And so we're going to sponsor a 10-city tour of Fix Your Business.
Yeah. And it's been great. And we actually reached out to SCORE as well, to partner with SCORE chapters around the country to host events. Some of them are going to be lunch and learn events. Some of them are afternoon events.
Right.
I'm going to have the opportunity to teach my Fix Your Business workshop, and it's kicking off April 2nd in New York City. And then April 3rd, we're coming to Philadelphia. Then April 4th, we're going to DC. And then the following week, we're heading Nashville, Memphis, Atlanta. And I'm going to my alma mater, Virginia Tech. Hey, I'm going to slide through there for our Black Alumni Reunion and give a lecture.
Slide through.
Give a little lecture for our reunion. And then the following week, I am back in Philadelphia for a week to rest. And then I go back out again the week of April 23rd, and I'm going to Miami, Chicago, Houston, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and we're going to finish up in Detroit. So I am so excited to have the opportunity to see so many of my fans on the road. Like, it's just going to be awesome.
It is going to be amazing. So let us talk about Fix Your Business. So Fix Your Business really is, it's a 90-day plan to get your life back and reduce chaos in your business. That is the promise you have made with this book. And my question, because you give us 12 months to build the business, can we really turn it around in 90 days?
Absolutely. But here's the thing. Am I going to fix all your business problems in 90 days? No, I'm not. Right. First of all, I'm not going to fix any of them. You are.
Right.
But I'm going to give you the tools and an apparatus to really make a decision. Either you're going to go through my book and tweak all of the 12 areas of your business that we talk about in the book, or I give you an opportunity to do a deep dive. So you can do 3 areas in your business that are a hot mess, right? And that you want to get your arms around them and really go in deep on the key areas that are just keeping you up at night, that are stressing you out. And so I give you an option, but what's really cool about this book is that inside every chapter, you have an Emerson's urgencies and an action steps at the end of each chapter, but there are also 5 fixes inside the book. So you can do a mini fix, a pre-fix, a quick fix, a personal fix, or a team fix. So I've got little exercises for you to sprinkle throughout the book for you to, get on top of some of this stuff, if you're struggling with certain areas of your business.
So now the book is based on the 12 P's, and I want to talk about that in a second because we're going to go through each of the P's. But I do want to point out, because I've actually read the book and you talked about the personal fixes. This book is such a great balance of the technical and the logistics and just the practical pieces of building a business. But you also talk a lot about mindset and what it takes mentally and sometimes spiritually in order to be to build a business that you love. Why was that so important to include in this book?
Well, here's the deal, Nikki. 50% of all business problems are not so well hidden personal problems. So I had to help people think through, at the end of the day, when you're in business or when you're struggling in business, you have to go back to your why. You have to go back to why did you start this business? And then why should you still be running this business?
Right.
And from there, you've got to look at your leadership mindset. Your leadership drives the culture of your entire organization. Everyone's looking at you, right? So you really have to think through, what do you want your culture to be? What kind of leader do you want to be? Do you even know what your leadership style is? Do you know what leadership style your employees respond best to? Because your employees are kind of like children, right? You can't treat them all the same. They all have different needs. Some need acknowledgement, some need time off, some need more money. You just need to know what people need so that you can get the best out of them. But your personal leadership has everything to do with how your business is going to be a success. And I have been in business for 19 years. And one of the things that I have prided myself on is that every single person that has ever come in contact with me, I mean, an intern, an assistant, people who are creative, people that have worked for me, no one has ever left me not better. Because I believe in mentoring and pouring into people. I believe in using mistakes as teaching opportunities. Now, hear me. I'm not about, I do not suffer fools gladly. But I do allow people to make mistakes. They're just not allowed to make the same mistake, right? So I'm not going to keep talking to you about the same thing over and over again. But you have to have a mentality that, how can I help my people win? How can I set my staff up to be a success? What could I do to contribute to that?
And you spend I think there's like two whole pages on just the opportunities that you have as a business owner to train your staff. I mean, you talk about, the business owner that really will hire somebody and just kind of give them the keys and tell them to get to work, but they have no training, no understanding, and no real expectations given by you as to what you want out of this person or this position.
Right. And what people don't understand is that part of the reason why that happens is because people don't hire people until it's urgent, until like they got some nightmare, they need a body in the seat, right? So they hire somebody and they haven't had time to do a formal hiring process. So they hire the first person they can find, and then instead of looking at a pool of candidates and actually making a selection, and then they don't take the time to do what I think is a minimum, a 2 to 4 week training. You got to show people how to do it, because then when they don't do it, you don't have to have no conversation about why they can't work for you no more, right? But you have to put in the time to show them the small biz lady way. How do we do it? You got to teach them, right?
Teach the babies. So let's talk about the 12 P's, because every chapter is based on a P, and this blueprint for fixing your business is based on the 12 P's of running a successful business. So what are the 12 P's? Let's see how good you are at remembering.
All right. You're going to test me, Miss Nikki? All right. So the first P is preparation. You got to make the decision that you want things to be different in your business. The second P is purpose. Now, purpose is what I call like your vision and your passion mashed up together with your mission, and that makes your purpose, right? Because a lot of times people get these things all mixed up. No, your purpose is really what drives you to do it. It's not about making the money. It's not about being famous. It's like, what is your real purpose for running this business? And then you've got to look at your people, right? If you have people, you have a potential for problems, right? So you've got to really look at what's going on with all of your people management. And then you got to look at yourself. Are you what's wrong with the people in your business? Everybody tired of dealing with you, right? So then you got to look at your profit. And profit is really all about all of the money management issues in your business. But at the end of the day, profit is how we keep scoring business. And it ain't about what you make, it's about what you keep. So I really want to reshift people. And we have a great interview with Mike McAllowitz at the end of this chapter, where he really breaks down his whole profit first system. And it's beautiful. And I'm really excited about it. And after profit, we help you look at your processes, because if you're walking around with how your business runs in your head, you got a problem. Yes. You have to build a business that can run without you. And it starts with documenting all of your processes and systems in your business. Then we look at your technology. We got to look at your productivity. Is there an app? Is there a piece of software that's going to save you some time and money? I bet there is, right? So I run down all the different types of systems in your business where you could be leveraging technology so that you could be out doing what you do best. Because I have a rule. I do not believe in entrepreneurs doing $20 an hour work. That is not what you should be doing. Not when you could bill at $250 or more an hour. So you need to make sure that you're leveraging technology, or that you're outsourcing the appropriate activities so that you can focus on your most high valued activity, right? And then after that, we look at performance, and the performance chapter is really all about what should you be measuring in your business. When's the last time you looked at your Google Analytics? Do you know what your shopping cart abandonment rate is? Do you know what your accounts receivable turnover ratio is? Yeah, how long does it take you to get your money from people? There's all kinds of things, your close ratio, there's all kinds of things you could be measuring in your business that I bet you're not, right? So I want to help you look at some of that. And then there's the product chapter. And the product chapter is really looking at your products and services and deciding whether or not they are still relevant and if they're going to be relevant 3 to 5 years from now. That's really, really important. And then we got to look at your presence, right? How are you building your brand online and offline, right? Because the old school stuff still works. Like you do still need business.
You still got to go places, right?
You still need like some direct mail if you're in retail, like it's not all about online. I mean, it is all about online, but you still got to have some basic, stuff going on with your marketing as well. So we look at, how to do a brand refresh if it's time and all that kind of stuff. And then we look at your prospects, and that's all about developing a organized sales process in your system. How do you get business? How do you generate leads? How do you track all that? Do you need to hire a salesperson? Do you have any idea how to hire a salesperson? All of those kinds of things we touch on in the prospects chapter. And that chapter is really cool because I interviewed Barbara Weaver Smith, who is the whale hunter, and she is the truth Ruth. And so her interview at the end of that chapter is amazing. So I am.
And just to be clear, you have interviews with an expert at the end of every single chapter.
Yes. And I do that because it's not just my advice I want to give you. I want to go and let you hear the people who have mentored me, the people whose books I went and read. And that's the reason why I selected the people that I selected at the end of every chapter. These are people whose information I trust and I use in my own business. And I want you guys to know who these people are as well. And then after the prospect chapter, we go to the planning chapter. And one of my oldest friends and mentors, Tim Berry, actually, the creator.
Who's a beast.
Tim Berry is the creator of Business Plan Pro and Live Plan. bplans.com is his website. And he is like one of the grandfathers of small business advice. And he has been a longtime friend and mentor of mine for many, many years. And I was so grateful that he too agreed to be one of my interviews in this book because he's the truth. And he's written several books called The Lean Plan. You just go Google Tim Berry. You'll find out why he's.
Don't you love it? Just Google him. Just Google him.
But the thing about it is what I'm excited about at the end of this book is that you're going to walk away with a new strategic plan for your business. And really, chapter 11, the planning chapter, really wraps up all the homework. Now, if you do the homework in all of the following 10 chapters, you will have by chapter 11 a new strategic plan for your business. And then chapter 12 is all about perseverance. And it's about, can you stay strong enough, long enough to win? And listen, that ain't no small thing to say. I have been in business. God has blessed me to be in business 19 years. And I will tell you that I have been through the fire, the wind, and the rain, but I'm still here. And I'm still here because I was willing to grow, that I have always been coachable, and I've had to be flexible. My business has evolved over the years. I started in video production, then we evolved to include doing website design. Then back in 2007, we realized that the technology was about to change again, and we focused our whole company on social media marketing. And then the next thing you knew, corporations were calling us after I built the Small Biz Lady brand. Corporations were calling us, asking us to help with their social media branding at their companies. And now I have a very thriving marketing consulting practice, and I work for all the Fortune 500 companies in the US that target small business customers. Because I'm like this.
If you're with a little neck roll.
Look, hey. I don't get ego too much, but I will say, if you want to talk to small business owners, you better come talk to the Small Biz Lady.
And that is, to be able to say that not only do you reach 3 million directly, but you pull like 10 million media impressions weekly. That is unbelievable. And so, and just from listening to you go through the 3 Ps, I want people to get that this was 15 minutes. That the book is like 255 pages of this, and so it's absolutely amazing. And I know, because I've heard like people say, oh, we don't need a business plan and we don't need to do this. What do you think is really like the most important or the biggest place that people go wrong? small business owners go wrong?
Well, I think it's probably three places. I think people don't hire people soon enough, and then when they do, they hire the wrong people, and then they don't train them, right? The second place, I would say, processes, like really not documenting how your business runs. What is your secret sauce? What is your moonwalk? Is any of that stuff documented so you can hire some people to help you or delegate the right tasks off of yourself? And then thirdly, it is planning. You have to plan for success. Success will not just happen to you. So you really do need to think through, what do you want to have happen in your business? And then you need to check your goal versus what actually happened so you know where to adjust, right? And it's all about really understanding your cost and understanding your profit margin in every sale. You got to know that stuff. Otherwise, you could mess around and have a glorified hobby.
And I love that you focus on that, because so many people, and it almost seems like the struggle and the sacrifice and all of those things are some kind of a badge of honor when you're a small business owner. And certainly not to give the impression that you don't have to work hard and that success is going to come easy. But to have a business that can't run long enough for you to go on vacation is not necessarily something to be proud of.
Not at all. I mean, you really do want to make sure that you are building an actual business. And sometimes we mistake busyness for business, like running to all these networking events and going through a bunch of business cards. No, when I go to any networking event, I'm only trying to meet 5 people, because that's all the time I have to follow up. So really, your fortune is in your follow-up, but you really have to make sure that you have something of value that you're even offering. Right. Because, is anybody looking for yet another graphic design company? No. But are people looking for a graphic design company that specializes in educational materials? All day long, that business can get work. So you've got to think about, what is your niche specialty? Who are you really serving? And are you charging enough money that's fair to them and fair to you? Because too many people out here working like volunteer slaves in their business and not even taking a paycheck. And that is something that makes me climb a wall. You work really hard, and you should be paying yourself with a paycheck, with taxes being taken out. You need to make sure that you have enough money to manage and run your household and support your family too.
Yeah, and so Fix Your Business, I want to make sure people are clear. It is available today. You can get it on Amazon. There's also a website, fixyourbusiness.com, where you can get all sorts of goodies based on the book, worksheets, downloads. I mean, it is just amazing, this resource that has been built. And so before we let you go, what is your hope for this book? What is your hope? What do you want people really to walk away with once they get this book?
You know what? My hope is that this book really becomes a movement. I want people to stop being stressed out by their businesses. I want people to make the money that they deserve to make, and to really understand what's really going on in their business. I love entrepreneurs. We're the bravest people in the world. We need our own movie. We all superheroes. And so I really want to empower people to know what's going on in their business, to really examine it so that they can get the right team and serve their customers and have the money to live their dream life. That is what I want for entrepreneurs, because let me tell you something, when it happens, you're going to feel different.
You're going to be doing a little neck roll. Like,
you're going to walk different. You're going to talk different. You're going to be like, woo, I love being an entrepreneur, versus, Lord, I'm an entrepreneur, right? I want you to sit upright and enjoy loving your business. And so that is my hope. That is my wish, for the entrepreneurs that read my book.
Well, I am so amazed. I am so happy for you. And I'm happy for everybody that's going to get this book, because like I said, I've read it. And so I already know what I got to do. I already know the work that lays ahead in my 90 days. So I hope people will join. If you search on Facebook, there's actually a Fix Your Business accountability group that you can be a part of, that you actually get access to Melinda to get some questions answered, but there's also some goodies just for being in that group. So definitely check that out. But if you don't do anything else, make sure that you go pick up this book today. The book is Fix Your Business. It's on Amazon. You can also go to fixyourbusiness.com. And if you're not following anybody on Twitter, the one person as a small business owner that you should be following is Small Biz Lady. So thank you. I appreciate you more than you know.
Well, I appreciate you for having me. This has been a blast. And I pray that folks allow me to help them fix their business.
All right, you guys, we are going to take off, but you can still ask questions in the comments. And I'm sure as Melinda goes about her day, she'll come back and see what's going on. But like I said, pick up the book today, and I would love to hear your thoughts and see what you think. And maybe we'll have Miss Melinda, small biz lady, back to talk about it once we get the book.
Anytime. I would love to come back.
All right, guys, talk to you later. Have a great day.